Scott here with Josh.
Oh, hey, I'm back already.
And Amelia. Talking about Star Wars. We saw it on Monday.
Hashtag still processing.
I want to let you know this. We're going to talk non-spoilers first, but then I do want to talk spoilers about the movie. I'm just going to do the same video, but we're warned. It's going to be a separate kind of section where I'll warn you when we're going to talk spoilers.
Whatever he says, I guess.
Yeah. I'll say it's flawed, but I would go as far as saying I loved it still. It's not quite as good as Force Awakens to me. I think it's second to Force Awakens though, and Force Awakens is my number one in the Star Wars ranking. So I love Force Awakens, but it's not quite as good. There's a few more. There are some problems. I really respect and love a lot of things about it. I think the highs in this movie are super high. It has a lot of surprises and it actually subverts expectations and does really cool things. Things I think are really cool, and I definitely really respect it, and I think it was really cool. And yeah, a lot of really cool stuff in it, but there are some flaws. That's my basic thoughts. You guys want to? What do you guys think about the movie before going to spoilers? Just overall thoughts.
Pretty similar to what he said, essentially. Not a whole lot to add, but yeah, like you said, definitely some stuff in there you wouldn't expect from a usual Star Wars movie. A lot of new stuff, some old stuff here and there. But overall, a very good Star Wars movie. With some obvious flaws. But definitely a lot of great stuff to enjoy throughout the movie in terms of the, storytelling, the acting, and overall action. Like you said,
It's kind of different for a Star Wars movie. It definitely has a different structure than a lot of other Star Wars movies. There's no Death Star. Different.
Which is nice.
Yeah, it's different and weird, but it's still really good.
Definitely a movie you must see a few times.
I get that. Yeah.
Agree with where Scott put it in ranking. I'm not as big a fan of the originals as most people are. I really like The Force Awakens, and that would be my number one, and this would be my number two. It has a lot of flaws, but it's also really good at the same time. It's kind of mixed, but overall I like it more than I don't like it. It took a lot of risks and did some new things, but it also was very much still a Star Wars movie. The Porgs were amazing, and I need more Porg in my life.
There's several really cool scenes with really cool Star Warsy action.
There's some really cool lightsaber battles, which were really awesome. They were really well choreographed.
Acting was great. I think really good from basically everybody, but I think the highlights are Daisy Ridley as Rey.
Mark Hamill should have won Oscar.
It still would be should because it hasn't happened yet, but
well,
he probably won't though. So you'll probably be able to say that.
Get the man a nomination.
But yeah, Mark Hamill was great. He did great acting. It's a significant part, and he did a great job in it. It's great to see him again. Probably best acting he's done in the series. And also Adam Driver was fantastic. I love Kylo as I love Adam Driver as Kylo.
Oh yeah, great guy.
Those three I think are highlights for me. Everyone else was really good too. There wasn't a bad actor, I don't think. I love the characters of Rey and Kylo Ren. Very interesting choices, very surprising, risky things in this movie. But yeah, I just to be vague, I actually really like what they did with Luke in this movie. The things that really bothered me were I do think the pacing was off. This some parts that, especially in the first half or so, it got a little slow and kind of almost
Some of
boring.
it dragged a little bit. The pacing was a little strange in places.
It's significantly the longest Star Wars movie, and it does feel like it.
Definitely,
I felt it.
A lot different from Force Awakens.
Yeah, Force Awakens I feel it was very quick and kind of breakneck. This one, I don't really mind it too much. It's mostly all great stuff going on, but it definitely you do feel the length, and it's a little uneven. And they do try a good amount of humor in this movie, and some of it worked.
Some of it lands, and some of it doesn't.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
50-50.
A couple things I didn't care for. The humor.
I think when they don't land, there's only really one joke, I think, that was kind of cringy, and I wish it would just go away. And the others were just like, oh, well, I didn't laugh out loud, but it was fine, it didn't bother me. A lot of people are saying that the humor is terrible, but I didn't think it was terrible.
I don't think that.
It was just occasionally it didn't land that well, but most of it really didn't bother me at all.
I think there was that much. I've heard people.
And there really wasn't that much.
I've heard people describe it. I thought there would be more humor than there was.
Hey, the kids gotta laugh too. Remember, like George Lucas said, this is essentially for 12-year-olds.
The Porgs were a great comedic release. The Porgs
were amazing.
I love them.
And I love them. I think some character decisions were dumb.
Explain yourself.
Well, not quite, but I mean, some characters did dumb stuff, but I don't really mind it. It's kind of a theme thread that basically everybody fails and was stupid. A lot of them are stupid.
Well, for all those weird people out there.
Yeah, we're gonna go give you the score in case you aren't gonna stop watching for this before spoilers. For me, it's I kind of have to think about it, but I think I'm gonna go to an A minus. Then it's kind of between the two what I was rambling on earlier. But
Okay.
definitely some flaws that jog it down, but I did love it. It's an A minus area for me. Then I think. What scores you guys? You want to start, Josh? What score? What score you give it?
Well, always the toughest part with the score, isn't it? But anyways, I guess if he's gonna make B,
Yes.
well, best off with the grade system, I'd probably just have to go with a solid B. Hey, job well done, still, Ryan Johnson. You're good enough for a B in my book, and that's gonna count for something, right?
I agree. I would also give it a solid B. I don't think it was amazing enough to get an A, and I give hardly anything an A, so that's...
She's a tough critic.
I'm a tough critic usually. Like, I tend to grade
She gives less A's than A pluses than I do.
harsher than Scott does in general. Like, I have to freaking love it for it to get an A. I give it a solid B.
Well, I guess that's about it for a non-spoiler thing. Kind of hard to talk about it without non-spoilers, but we're going to talk spoilers now. If you've seen the movie, which a lot of people have, then stick around and talk spoilers with us on the tier.
If you haven't seen it yet,
But if you haven't,
run away!
Yeah, but if you haven't, then stop the video now.
For
And
one of
then,
the 3 people that haven't, then stop watching this and actually do something with your life and go to a theater.
yeah, we're going to start talking spoilers now. Holy shit, Luke died, Snoke died, and Rey's parents were nobodies, and Yoda's in the movie.
Wait, what? I must fell asleep that part.
So yeah, Luke died. How do you guys feel about that?
Honestly, I would have to disagree with the writer's choice to do this to us. Yes, he did have a very good overall, arc story in this movie. Yes, you could argue that. But why did he have to die? Oh my god. I mean, a lot of these people growing up, one of their favorite characters of all time, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I mean, great character and all, and obviously, you could definitely argue a great way for him to go out. But still, the fact that in this new trilogy, we only get to see him for, come on, one movie, essentially. Yeah, he was in Force Awakens, but not really.
Yeah, barely.
So, I mean, come on. Yes, he did have a much bigger part, but still, for a lot of fans, you definitely feel like he kind of, I don't know, cheat us this out here, I mean...
this is one of the reasons why I think Star Wars would make a great TV show.
For sure.
We would spend more time with all of these characters and get to see them over, the course of, many, many episodes before they got killed off. And I think I would feel more of an emotional attachment if it weren't just, a handful of movies.
Anyway.
I thought Luke's death was a really good death. I was kind of surprised, but at the same time, it was one of the most heavily rumored things that people thought was going to happen, so I wasn't that surprised. But I really liked the final shot of him staring up at the 2 suns, because that's an iconic shot of Luke staring up at the 2 suns in the originals.
Oh yeah, very fitting.
And I really loved how poetic that was with his arc as a character throughout all these years. I really liked that choice.
I agree with what she's saying more. I love it's very poetic, and I love his storyline in this movie. First part of the movie, he's more flawed, and it's cool seeing him be more real and flawed and not so perfect. And then he comes back and he does a very heroic thing at the end, and it's a really cool way to see him go out. I think it was great the way they did it.
Yeah, I really like that he's not perfect, because I don't know, other than kissing his sister, he was kind of perfect before. He didn't really do anything that iffy, and I don't want him to be terrible or anything, but I like when characters seem more human and they make mistakes, and are conflicted about things, and so I really liked this portrayal of Luke overall.
Yeah.
Oh, how about that battle scene with Kylo Ren, but and also the rumor that he tried to kill his own nephew.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was
yeah,
a really cool scene. Yeah, that was a great scene.
I'm a big fan of flashbacks, so I mean,
It's nice to see the two different sides of the story, you know.
I really
Yeah.
like the way they did that. Yeah, the two different sides of the story and how you thought you knew what happened, and then they showed it another way, and then they finally got the third where it's cohesive together. And I really liked how that spoke to things can be true from a different perspective. Like, both of their perceptions were true to them,
Oh, he
but
was
there
trying to
was
kill
an
me,
overall
or
truth
did I just think
that
he
was
was trying
kind
to
of
kill me?
both. Yeah, I liked how they played off of how perceptions can alter reality.
Yeah, I love the flashbacks and seeing different perspectives of it. I love the way that entire sword battle with Kylo at the end. It was beautiful. This whole movie was beautiful visually, but that was great. I loved everything with Luke on the island with Rey. I really loved this movie. I loved also, it was much shorter sequence, but I loved the part where for the first short little bit Luke and Rey fought on the island. I thought that was really cool.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, and it was in the rain too, which I felt like added to the emotional weight of it, because often water is used as a symbol for like heavy emotions. I also really like the connection between Kylo and Rey. How they were like force Skyping, kind of.
Very interesting choice there, Ryan.
Yeah, definitely.
That was really different because we've never seen that before, and I was like, wait, what? They can do that?
Oh, yeah,
But I got over it pretty quickly that I'd never seen it before.
Yeah, this movie, and that and other things, this movie added a lot of things to the Force that we didn't know they could do before, which
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably what a lot of people didn't like, to be honest.
I don't have a problem. I think it's more universe and mythology building. I think it's kind of
Yeah.
cool.
I mean, it's kind of weird that we've never seen it before, but honestly, there haven't been that many movies. I mean, it feels like there have been a lot, but it's kind of understandable that you wouldn't have seen some stuff before.
I completely understand that there's more stuff they can do that we haven't seen yet. And I think it's really cool. They definitely expand the universe a heck a lot with this movie, I think. A lot of powers and more worlds and stuff.
Oh yeah, how about Leia using the Force bubble to save herself?
That was weird.
Force bubble.
Kind of strange, but
I mean, apparently Leia can use the Force, which I like.
Well, we kind of knew hints before, but we never really saw it much.
It was kind of lame that she had never done anything like that before. I mean, she's a general now. I don't know. I kind of thought maybe we'd see Leia use a lightsaber. I was kind of hoping for that. I don't think we're going to see it now. I'm not sure. I'm kind of disappointed that the only time we definitively saw Leia using the Force was her doing a weird floaty thing where she looked kind of like Superman and or Mary Poppins. Like, visually, it was kind of weird. I was happy because I was like, oh my god, Leia can use the Force, what? Like, that's awesome, but at the same time, I was like, visually, this is really weird.
Definitely unexpected. Of course, we don't want her to die, but at the same time, we know due to her unfortunate passing,
she's not going to be in episode 9.
Something's got to happen to her
They
one
don't
way or
have,
another.
shots, maybe?
So,
Like, they could insert in there.
They said they used everything, and they also said they don't want to do, like, the CGI, like, Tarkin thing from Rogue One. They don't want to do that.
Well, yeah, a lot of people were, like, pissed about that.
Yeah,
so
that's
I
not,
don't think
that's
they
not
need
going to
to.
happen, and I think they said they used everything they got with... I don't think she's going to have part in episode 9 at all.
Unfortunately, she's going to have to die somewhere.
They're probably going to either write her out somehow. Either she's just
like,
off doing
she
something,
retires
or she died off screen.
I mean, it's kind of implied in this one that she's kind of training Poe to take over, which overall I think is a poor choice, Leia. But,
Yeah, because it's very unfortunate.
maybe she sees more in him than I do.
Definitely appeared, based off the ending, she definitely could have had a bigger role in episode 9.
Yeah, she probably would have.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's sad. R.I.P. Carrie Fisher.
See what they do with that. But yeah, Snoke gets killed by Kylo and Rey together.
Yeah, that was the next thing I had in my notes.
That battle scene was like one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie.
It's kind of tough, but that might be my favorite scene, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I mean, it was choreographed amazing, and I just really loved seeing two people with lightsabers work together, and to see those two work together, which was surprising, but, like, amazing at the same time.
Yeah.
And it was a really bold choice to kill off Snoke already.
Yeah, that was really bold. I'm fine with it, but I kind of wish we kind of got to see more Snoke, or maybe get some more backstory. People have been pointing out. I mean,
overall, I don't care that much.
I feel we're at least learn more about him in like some kind of canon book that they release or something.
Yeah, I would slightly have to disagree with you, because even though, yes, I did not need his entire backstory or whatnot, but still, from what they showed us in this movie, he was still a very interesting character. I liked the way how he presented himself, you know, how he was like the boss of Kylo Ren and telling him what to do and stuff. So it would have been nice to see at least, you know, where he came from and whatnot, you know.
I am kind of curious on how his, like, face and
I wanna know how
basically his whole
how
body.
he got that way.
Like, what species is he? Like, is he human like the rest of the main characters? And he got really weird looking?
Kind of looks to me like a human, that kind of almost like Freddy Krueger, like he got burned.
Yeah, it looks, but then it's kind of sunken in too. But then, like, his overall shape too almost looks like he is some species of alien that's just slightly humanoid, that's also horrifically scarred.
Like, we don't know for sure. You know?
I don't know. I'm curious about that, but like I said, I don't care that much.
It would have been nice to see a little more of him in Episode 9, to be honest. But at least now we know we are officially in the Kylo Ren regime of him as Supreme Leader of the First Order.
It's kind of more exciting, I think. It was very bold, and I'm looking forward to seeing that now Kylo's the big bad. There's no else big one will be else bigger than him.
That's cool, yeah.
That's really cool.
Also, I think it was a really interesting choice that Kylo lied about killing him when Hux asked, like, what happened here? Kylo said the girl killed him, meaning Rey, and that's not what happened. And he doesn't want people to know that he killed Snoke, so that's interesting.
Very interesting. For a second, you thought, oh, is Kylo going to team up with Rey? Is she going to team up with him? Both on the light side, both on the dark side.
I honestly would have bought either way.
You could have seen anyone coming, but at the end of the day, it stayed how we probably thought it should have.
I would have bought him, like, turning, but I also bought this thing at the end where he only did it because he didn't want to be under anyone else's thumb.
All the power for himself.
In the end, he wanted all the power for himself, which actually totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, great character arc.
I definitely get it.
He's probably one of the most well-written villains I've seen in a long time. Often in movies, villains are the weak point, so I really like how
MCU.
I really like how conflicted he is and how much we know about him and like how many different emotions he shows overall.
Yeah. That was even more interesting when Rey said she saw his future and that, you know, he could have been on the light side and stuff. Like, wow, not even that revelation convinced him to go. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. Very interesting.
I don't know. Maybe Snoke made her see that, but at the same time, I'm not entirely sure.
For sure.
I don't. Yeah. He said that he like made the connection between them or something.
I'm not entirely sure I'm buying that.
Was he lying?
That could be a lie too. Yeah. We don't know.
Like maybe he just claimed that. I don't know.
Probably never know.
Yeah. Why not?
The connection between them is really fascinating, and I really love the scene where their hands touched. Like I thought that was really intimate and interesting.
Yeah.
And before this movie, I was like, what? Hashtag Raylo. Like, what are you even talking about? Like, that's crazy. But after this, I'm like, well...
Yeah, I thought that was weird as a thing before.
I do see it, kind of. Like, I see that they have a connection. I don't think it's actually going to go anywhere, like, romantically or anything, with how opposing their views are. But I think if he had turned, it might have happened.
If either one of them had turned, I could see that happening. But now with them like both staying on each side, I don't think that they're going to happen in the future.
I don't think it's going to happen, but I think they'll always have like a connection. You know.
During this movie, Raylo could have happened.
Because they're like
could have been
yin
brother
and
and sister. I mean, they do
that
kind of look
too.
similar.
Like, I also thought maybe it was going to be revealed that like that they were cousins or that they were brother and sister or something.
Yeah, I could have seen some relation.
Like. And I would have bought that kind of connection as well. Like, it's not necessarily a romantic connection, but, like, there's definitely a really deep connection between them where they're, like, yin and yang, which I think is really interesting, and I really like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which, they're possibly being related, and now they're not, apparently. Brings me to the next thing in my notes. I put Rey's parents, question mark.
Great segue.
What?
Great segue.
Yeah.
Rey's parents.
Apparently are nobody.
as far as we know.
Which
is completely fine with me.
Feels like it was building up, and you're like, who are they? And then it was like, oh, they're just kind of nobody. Which at first I was like, aw, like, because I was kind of hoping for something shocking and big reveal, you know.
Obi-Wan,
but at the same time, the more I think about it, I like it that they're nobody because
that way you can make the universe bigger and not make it smaller.
That was my thought process. It throws out the window a lot of people's theories and speculation for the last 2 years, but that's not a bad thing necessarily to get over it. But I'm just kind of hoping for something bigger, for some big reveal or something. But it's kind of, I don't know, maybe a little interconnected to that, but it doesn't make it bad.
It's a little anticlimactic, but overall, I think it's a better choice.
But I think I agree. I completely agree.
Very fitting.
It makes the universe bigger instead of smaller. And honestly, it's kind of an inspiring message. It kind of
yes, you don't have to come from you
don't have to come from some family that's already. You can come.
You aren't your parents.
You can be powerful and be nobody. Even if your parents suck, you can be good. You can be good.
Anybody can become a powerful Jedi. So.
Kylo started to say he's like, you're nobody, but he said you could be somebody, or you're not to me. You're not nobody to me. Yeah, but
exactly.
But I mean, it's kind of nice that like she can be nobody and like she can become somebody, and so I think that's nice.
Yeah.
She has forged her own path now to becoming the leader of the Jedi Order.
It's a great parallel, again, to Kylo, who he came from, he came from darkness and light at the same time, kind of. Though the darkness is like one generation back. It's like 2 generations back instead of 1. But, I mean, he's the kid of Han Solo and Leia, and I think most people would have expected him to become more like Luke and be like a Jedi and on the light side and stuff. So he kind of went the opposite way people thought he would, and then probably no one expected Rey to be anybody. So they both kind of went in a different direction than most people probably would have predicted in their lives. And so they have a really cool parallel between them.
Now, on to episode 9.
I put it in my notes here. This isn't a huge thing, but it is a spoiler thing people didn't know about. You want to talk about Yoda being in the movie?
Oh yeah,
Yoda was
great
in the
Yoda
movie.
Cameo.
That was pretty cool. Great, this is a nice surprise, cool cameo.
Force Ghost.
I am kind of weirded out by the fact that he can like channel lightning and like explode things.
Hey, Force Ghost can do anything.
Because it's weird that they can physically touch people too, because he like bonked him on the head. But I'm like, okay, like I'll buy that. The lightning thing was weirder to me because that means that they can like Force Ghost could essentially help like kill the bad people, and they haven't. Like, what have they been doing? I don't know.
Yeah, they got their own stuff to take care of too.
I mean, it's kind of weird that like Force Ghosts of other people haven't come and just like electrocuted people and been like, oh yeah, that like really bad people that's, that really bad person that's killing all those people, maybe like one of these thousands of ghosts should like help out. But apparently they only do that for trees.
But apparently, anyway, it was a really great cameo by Yoda, and I loved what he was saying to Luke and stuff, and all the, just the meaningful wisdom he was telling him. And
I
definitely
really
one of
like
my
the message, yeah.
favorite lines he said was, "The greatest teacher failure is."
Yeah, that was a great line.
Yeah. Another great Yoda line.
Awesome.
Though another one of my problems was that I had a hard time understanding him sometimes, and I was like, wait, what did he say? because he talks funny. I mean, I'm not talking about like the way he reverses words. That's fine. But I mean like his like high pitchedness and like the kind of garbliness with which he talks. Like, because he's supposed to be old and also very small. So it's like high pitched, but also like, oh, like shaky like old people. I like the message about how like let go of the past and all your traditions because they aren't necessarily great. Like, if things can be improved upon or changed, then they should be. You shouldn't just keep doing the same thing forever because it's been done that way forever. It's nonsensical.
It's kind of a nice message to communicate to life, and it's meant about the movie itself. in the series.
Yes.
Oh,
If it can be
yeah.
improved upon, improve it. Like,
Okay, I'll try my best, Mom.
yeah, I like that message.
That's everything I had in my notes. Is there anything specific spoilers that you guys want to talk about? I know you guys...
Poe?
Sure, go ahead.
Poe is dumb.
Yeah,
He's responsible for the deaths of, like, a ton of people.
A lot of rebel troops.
And I don't really understand why Leia would choose him to be her successor, which it kind of implied that she is.
Don't be a hero.
And I'm like, I like that he learned a lesson at
he
the
seems to have
end.
at least learned it. He was the one that interpreted that Luke was trying to buy them
To,
time.
like, leave Luke alone. Don't go out there and fight. Run away, because it's a better choice strategically, even if it's not the most heroic for you.
Yeah, he kind of made it up
Like,
for it.
I like that he learned that, but I feel like maybe, you know, Leia could have given him a book to read or something instead of just letting him kill people.
Essentially, he is now
Though she
the
was in
new
a coma
leader.
for the second time he did that, so that's not her fault. But then that's Purple Hair Lady's fault. What's her name?
Admiral Holdo.
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 Okay. Admiral Holdo.
Or Laura Dern.
Okay. But yeah, the Admiral, I don't really understand why she wouldn't tell anybody what the fuck she was doing.
Just tell me what's going on.
She was
Like,
kind of dumb too. They both messed
She
up.
made a dumb choice in not telling people what was happening. Because, I mean, in that situation where everyone thought they were just gonna die, I'm kind of surprised there weren't more people going behind her back and doing crazy stuff like Poe was. She also recognized him as a crazy hothead right away, so you'd think she'd try to do something to diffuse that and be like, okay, here's the plan, like, go do what you're supposed to now and stop messing everything up. Because that would be a smart thing to do in a position of leadership. And she's an admiral, so I assume she has some experience with that. So yeah, I thought that was kind of weird. And basically, I really didn't like everything involving Poe. Like, he mostly just annoyed me. Except when he was cuddling BB-8, then I was like, aww, but you're still really dumb. We didn't talk about Finn and
I was
Rose.
just gonna say that. Yeah, we should talk about. What do you guys think
Do we
about
have
the
to?
Finn Rose and the whole Canto Bite thing? That's a lot of people's least favorite part. So, what do you guys think about that?
The Canto Bite thing didn't annoy me as much as it annoyed a lot of other people, I think.
I mean, we definitely could have done without it, I suppose. But, I mean, not the worst sequence of events you could have had.
I mean, I kind of liked the message they were going for, and...
Animal rights.
I mean, you know, the rich get richer on the back of other people, and how it might look glamorous, but if you look closer, there's like a dark underbelly to that. And also, Benicio del Toro's character, overall didn't do much, and I thought him periodically stuttering, but then other times speaking perfectly clearly was odd. Like, the voice thing he was doing was kind of weird.
Oh yeah, it's like, we need this hacker, but then he really doesn't even doing hacking them in for him, you know?
Yeah, overall their storyline ended up being kind of pointless, which, I mean...
Definitely not needed.
Story-wise, it's kind of weak that way. I mean, I get that in real life things don't always go as planned. But it is a fantasy series.
Sorry, the basketball
so, I mean, I don't know. I would have liked that their storyline to actually have more meaning and not just turn out to be like, oh, well, you just did all that for nothing, actually, because
I'll look this up soon.
the purple hair lady had a plan all along that she didn't tell anyone about.
Yeah, I agree with basically all she said. It's definitely not anywhere near my favorite parts of the movie, but I don't think it's bad. I still enjoyed it. And I appreciate all they're going for. I like all the messages in there, and I think it was cool seeing a completely new world, and it was different from anything we've seen before in the Star Wars universe. And I like seeing it, and I like.
Well, except it was a lot like a lot of the cantina scenes before. I feel like they have to have some sort of scene where there's like sexy ladies and people drinking alcohol in like every scene, like every movie. There's got to be a scene like that, which is kind of strange to me.
I agree with you, Christian Harloff. It did feel like a Harry Potter movie.
It was a little Harry Potter-ish, honestly.
I like some.
So not necessarily a bad thing.
Oh, Benicio del Toro's character, though, like, overall I think he was weak, and the weird voice thing he was doing, I didn't really like. But I really liked the couple lines he had at the end where he was like,
oh, yeah,
good side, bad side, you know. He kind of had a point. I mean, he feels also kind of uninformed, though, because overall there is obviously a good side. But I also get what he's saying about war and, like, profit, and it kind of has tie-ins to real life, where there is good and evil on both sides. There might be a side that is overall better than the other side, but there's still darkness even on the side that's good. And it's kind of important to acknowledge that, so that maybe you can do something about it. So I liked what he said at the end.
Hashtag Philosophy 101.
Yeah. How you guys feel about Rosa's character? Is that correct?
I like Rose, though I feel like we didn't really see that much of, like, I don't know.
Maybe wasn't utilized the best.
She wasn't really used very well, I think. But
Maybe a little
from
more
what
dark.
I did see, I like her and I want to see more of her. I just wish that we'd seen more character arc or something in this movie.
Yeah, it's like the same thing that happened to Finnick in the last movie. She's now like in a coma, I guess, so I presume we'll get to see more of her, but who knows when or how much, but...
Hopefully it's something pretty good.
So,
I liked her, basically.
I kind of wish that she and her sister had been at least briefly introduced in the last movie, so that when her sister died very early on in this one, I would have been like, oh no, it's the sister of... It's one of those two sisters we met before, and, like, her sister died. Like, that's so sad. Instead of, oh, some random person died. Oh, that's the new character's sister. Like...
True.
I kind of wish we'd at least briefly seen them together as sisters beforehand, so that her death and subsequent grief over her death would have felt more meaningful to me. Like maybe how they got those matching necklaces or whatever.
Captain Phasma dying.
No, not really much to talk about there, to be honest.
There's not, yeah. But
Really am disappointed that there isn't more Captain Phasma, because the actress is amazing.
Well,
Gwendolyn
yeah.
Christie in Game of Thrones,
But she wasn't
and
there
I
much
love
anyway.
her. And I wanted to see more. I was glad we got to see, like, her eye at the end, because I think that was good to show that, like, yes, there are people behind all of these stormtroopers,
Yeah.
and they're not just, like, faceless, bad robots, which was kind of the feeling before. Which, in the last movie with Finn, that was a huge difference there, which I really liked. But that was the last movie. But yeah, she's really the only other stormtrooper that we've seen, like, ever take off their mask, even if it was, like, a hole. It wasn't really taking off the mask.
yeah, that was cool.
And-
A little bit for eye and stuff.
I liked that visually, and I liked that they fought at the end and stuff, but overall, I just wish we'd seen more of her, because she was really underutilized.
I like what we got, and it was at least a lot more in Force Awakens. She actually did stuff, and I like that battle, but it's disappointing that she wasn't used less more.
So when do you wrap up final thoughts?
The Porgs, though.
Porgs were great.
Enough said.
Porgs are amazing and adorable, and I love that they're based on puffins, which is a type of bird, in case you don't know.
Okay.
Google it, they're adorable.
Yeah.
Well, all I gotta say at the end of the day is that Silver Foxes and Millennium Falcon saved the day.
Oh, I love the silver foxes, too. They were really cool.
I love all the animals in this movie.
And the space horses.
Interesting and cool
They look
stuff.
kind of like horses mixed with chihuahuas.
Yeah, I guess that wraps about. I think we covered everything. That's our spoiler section of this review. And our whole review. Of Star Wars: Last Jedi. Thank you if you actually watched this whole thing. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think about all this in the comments down below.